Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. It's Thirsty Thursday. Let's do a review. So you might have seen the neck pour of this, and it looks like I've enjoyed it a good bit. It's about half down. It has been a year though. I got this last April. You might have saw the neck pour, and I seem pretty impressed on the neck pour. So this is a Knob Creek single barrel select of their rye whiskey. So it was pretty tasty. So we're gonna see how it's done since it's opened up a bit. Got plenty of oxygen in there, doing its thing, oxidizing it, and see, I believe paid like $49 for it. So somehow this was under retail. These are usually retail $59.99, but it must have been sitting on the shelf a while because I got it under retail, which is always exciting. I picked this up south of Miami at a liquor store called Gulf Shores Liquor Store, and it was picked by something called Craft Street Kitchen Reserve Barrel. Oh, that's what they named it anyway. So I don't know where the Craft Street Kitchen is, but I thank them for picking it, and I thank Gulf Shores for trying to get it off their shelf so I could get one. It's like 2 hours away. If I was any closer, I might have gone back for a second bottle after tasting it. All right, usual deal. I'm gonna nose and taste it, then we'll come back for notes. It's very good stuff. Got a little bit of a Kentucky hug. It's 115 proof, so it's not surprising. Let's go and check out the bottle for a few minutes, and then we'll get back to that pour. So it says the original Knob Creek, and if you don't know, Knob Creek is owned by Jim Beam, so it's a Jim Beam product. Knob Creek Single Barrel Select, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, small batch. That is, that's not an accurate sticker then, because it can either be single barrel or it can be small batch. It can't be both, can it? Doesn't seem like it. Anyway, picked by Fred No. Maybe not picked, but the 7th generation master distiller Fred No. So they just have Fred's name on here. Claremont, Kentucky. Knob Creek Single Barrel Select Rye, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Knob Creek, Claremont, Kentucky, Distilling Company. Single Barrel Select Rye, Craft Street Kitchen Reserve Barrel. So Warehouse N, Floor 5, Rick 17. If that means anything to you, it doesn't mean anything to me. So it was barreled June 10th, 2016. And the selection date was June 29th of 2022. So 6-year-old rye. 115 proof, or 57.5 alcohol by volume. Anything else on the back? Just government warning. Distilled and bottled by Knob Creek Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. So they didn't source it anywhere. That's good. Okay, cool. Because I mean, there's nothing really wrong with contract distilling. Like I noticed that Bullet Bourbon, they distill their own bourbon, but when the rye's involved, it seems like it's an MGP recipe. So I'm just always curious about that, on if someone has distilled something on their own or if they've purchased it somewhere. All right, let's get into this thing. It's got a wonderful nose. I got winter mint, I got vanilla, but they're sweet enough that it's almost like some sort of candy version of those flavors. It's only 6 years old, but I get like a little bit of kind of toasted barrel char notes. I mean, I don't know if it was a toasted barrel. I'm just saying those are the notes I'm getting. Nothing new on that. Very lovely. Let's check the palate. Okay, cool. So on the front, the vanilla and the winter mint on the nose is very strong and very sweet, right on the tip of the tongue as you start the pour, as you start the tasting. Then in the middle, very spicy, baking spices and cinnamon. And then on the finish, and it's got a nice mouthfeel, and it's got a pretty decently long finish. Some people don't like the nuttiness of Knob Creek, at least that's what I've heard, and the nuttiness doesn't come out until the finish. So there's a little bit of that nuttiness, like a peanut, but almost like not the nut, like the shell. It's like kind of like peanut shell on the finish somehow. I don't dislike it. It's not necessary. It's not a good way to put it. It doesn't thrill me, but it doesn't turn me off either. But it was nice and sparkly on the mouth. The finish is long. It goes on quite a long time. And kind of like you get that nutty on the finish, and then that fades, and you're kind of just left with some spicy on the tongue for a little bit longer. But only fool trusts his first taste. So let's see if there's anything new. Sometimes on the second nosing, sometimes my nose goes weird and gets different things. Oh, I haven't coughed. I haven't had to edit out a cough in a while. Cool. Get just a hint of that Bazooka Joe. Whatever's gone on with my palate, where these days I get Bazooka Joe gum out of like every third nosing, it is back. If you've never tried Bazooka Joe, or if you can't stand the thought of breaking your teeth on that hard little bubble gum, same taste as original Big League Chew. I don't know if they make that anymore. Kids, look it up. Maybe Fruit by the Foot. Is that still old? I don't know. All the rest of those notes are the same though. Just a little bit of bubblegum floating in. Which I don't mind it. I'm just confused by why I get it so often these days. Okay, so I made a noise when I sipped it this time, because I always appreciate it when there's no taste buds on your lips. But sometimes when something's sweeter in nature, it's almost like I'm tasting it with my lips instead of my tongue, because the sweet hits so quickly. So I kind of got that effect on this one. Very sweet in the front, but the notes didn't change on the front. Still vanilla, winter mint, very sweet candy versions of them. Then this time on the mid palate, and also I was like bringing in some air, chewing the whiskey, introducing air to it. I was getting, in addition to the baking spices and the cinnamon, it's getting a little bit of marshmallow as I was introducing some air to it. So that was very, very good. And then the finish was the same: peanut shells, followed by just general baking spices. Very good. So I can't remember if I said this already. If I did, I'll edit part of this out. But I think I paid like $49 for it, and retail is normally $59.99. So this was a great deal. I should have bought another one, but I didn't know. I didn't taste it till I got home, and I haven't quite reached the level of my whiskey hunting where I'll crack something in the parking lot. But you know what? Maybe I should start doing that. At least if I got someone else there to drive. You know, you can't be cracking bottles in parking lots and driving away. You know, that's just asking for a disaster. But this is one I should have tasted in the parking lot and gone back and bought a bottle or two for backups. But yeah, so this was a win. I would buy this again. It's also, so I got it for $49, which is $10 off retail. So, but even at retail, I would buy this again. But as always, suffers from single barrel syndrome. Could be the greatest thing you've ever tasted. Could be trash. Depends on the barrel. Depends on your palate. So, if you see it, unless you're near Miami, and you find the pick from the Craft Street Kitchen Reserved Barrel, there's no way of knowing what it's going to taste like. But if it's in your budget, $60, Izzo says it's a buy. It's a buy and try. And once you try it, you may not like it, or you may want to go back and buy 3 more bottles. Let's do one more. Let's see if anything changes. Nope, same on the nose. Vanilla, winter mint, but very sweet versions. A little hint of bubblegum and some barrel char notes. I just think that's a fabulous pour. I'm glad I took a shot on this one. That's all I got for you today. Thank you for checking out the channel. Thanks for watching the review. I posted an interesting unboxing today, so go find that if you can. It doesn't reveal what's in the box, but what I found in that box was not quite what I expected, so we'll be doing a better dressed finish the unboxing, do a neck pour, and let you go from there. Yep. So if you're working, work safely. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy. You're going to have a good time. And I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Thank you for being here. Oh, hey Lauren.